Hey, welcome to Let's Talk About It. Jeffy, I am. Welcome to my channel. Hope all is well. Yeah, I'm out here doing my 2 mile walk this morning, and some things was bothering me. Not bothering me, it was some things I thought about because it actually made me laugh, and I had to think about some things and how I want to express myself. And I say that because I don't want to sound malicious or hateful, because this is not the time in the world for it. Now, I will give you a spanking you keep talking. But for now, I just want to, comment on the young men nowadays. Not black men, just all men in general, the younger generation. One thing I've noticed is a lot of these young men, they kind of follow false idols. They get involved with social media and everything on social media, and everything they see on TV, on the television, is real to them. Sometimes, a lot of the times, they follow that example, which is not really an example. And being a content creator, we all know and we can see through the cracks, especially if your story is not inconsistent. So, one thing I wanted to touch on is a lot of the younger generation, when you get to past 40 or around 40, people seem to think that you're dead, you should retire or go lay down somewhere. And that's a lot in the black community also. It's really bad in the black community. And I hate to say it like that because I love my people. But this younger generation looks at people of age like we're dinosaurs, right? Okay, I get it. When I was young, khakis, Cortezes, sagging, polka dots, flat tops, all the stuff my parents didn't like, became iconic. But at the time, it was silly and immature, right? So I get the new fads and the new cultures and new styles coming up and people wanting to be different. And that's one thing I'm noticing. Everybody's not different. There's no individuality. Growing up in the city, man, if you wanted to gang bang, if you was a robber, if you was a concrete general, anything you did, you kind of fell into it. The people you were around as you grew up, you fell into things. A lot of these youngsters nowadays running around talking about gang and on this and on that. It's actually hilarious, man, because you got to put in the footwork. You got to actually live your life before you can even claim something like that. Again, that's just my personal opinion. As the world goes on, I've noticed our young men are feminized heavily. They're highly emotional. They complain. They even dressing like women nowadays. They're wearing tight pants, braids with their hairline pushed back, looking like women. And that's just like a throwback. Usually throwbacks come back, 360 degrees. But why are guys wearing dookie braids? They not old dog. They not tatalicious. It's real feminine. And for me, and how I deal with my life and how I live my life, if I see a young brother out there or a young man that's out there struggling, I'm gonna give him some advice. I live 2/4 of my life, so I know a little something, I believe. I'm not perfect, and my life is not the greatest. But if you're trying to get to it, I can show you how to get to it in certain areas. You know, the other day, I was watching some content, and I noticed, well, I'll say content, I'm not going to generalize. I'm noticing young men who are trying to find anything, trying to grasp anything to hold on to to become successful. And one thing they forgot about is themselves. You got to be a man before anything. And I'm starting to realize the effects of single households. It's not a bad thing. What I'm realizing is a lot of these young men nowadays don't respect their parents and mothers in general. And you got to understand, fellas, our mothers may not be perfect, but they have sacrificed. No matter what trials and tribulations they are our mothers. It's nothing more sacred than your mother. Your father's the strong one, and if your father's not around, hopefully you have a relationship with your father. But as you become a man, you can't use that as a crutch. Oh, my mother and my father did this, this and that, this and that. No, it's the decisions we make and the time we put forth to achieve something, you know. And I was watching these guys over sexualize with all these different women, and they wonder why they can't get a woman. For one, the quality of women has changed nowadays. That's a whole nother story, right? But these young men, they're trying to trick. They're trying to use this game when really you should be liking somebody that likes you in our reality. But what they see on TV or what they see their friends doing, everybody tries to emulate. And these young men don't understand. Every woman don't want to be talked to a certain way. Every woman don't want to be touched. And that goes for men too. As far as like the conversation wise, the conversation is so dead, and you know what you think the woman's attracted to, she's not. You can have material things and material items, but she got to genuinely like you. Let me tell you something about those items. If you out here living this life, there's ups and downs. You're not gonna always have it. You may think you do, but you're not. It takes money to rule the world. You got to have some integrity and some heart, you know, to really understand what money is. Money isn't anything. Yes, it helps. It makes times better. But ultimately, you gain a whole another set of problems. Another thing I was thinking about was not everybody, let me quit saying that. This is a habit, y'all. These young men, they all interested in gang, and want to be, want to have that image and tattoos all over your face and all on your neck. And I can't complain about that. In my generation, I was one of the few to have tattoos on my chest and on my arms. But some of them tattoos I have are just not from the neighborhood tattoo artists. I got tattoos on my body that tell my story if you really know. And all these tattoos, when you get institutionalized, you got to answer for that. Regardless of what the meaning is, you got to know what you put on your body. And the gun toting, the violence amongst each other, is raggedy and old. Society is built a certain way, and you're not going to survive if you tear up your neighborhoods. You don't. I'm not even going to say invest your money. Hold on to your money if you're not into investing or buying real estate or anything of value. A third thing, you young guys have a particular young guy singled out that I'm old and bitter because of the things I talk about. No, I'm not old and bitter, homeboy. I'm just somebody who know. And I always say this is what 50 gonna look like in your future, homie. Regardless of if you successful or you not, you're gonna be here walking this earth being a man. And that's what I suggest you be, a man. Get out your mother's house. And that's another thing, the lack of respect for your mother. It shows what kind of man you are, not willing to step in and help your siblings or your mother. Don't put all your blessings in sex. Yes, everybody loves sex. It's very pleasurable, but is it worth it at times? You know, some say quality over quantity, or vice versa. The way it's promoted and everything, know what you're doing, know what you're getting into. You don't own nobody, you don't own a body. Learn about yourself and how the world works before you deal with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, I see a lot of people in our young man's category who constantly make plans but never complete those plans. And they look down on people who are actually can give them advice and tell them. That's what gets me too. Most of the young guys I run into, especially on this on YT, I realize a lot of them don't want to take advice because I don't have this and that many subscribers or the way I live my life. And you know, the way I deal with life and mathematics, I feel like I'm a realist. But when you break it on down, you know, that people losing their identity. These young men don't have no heart, no integrity, no morals. And going back to the conversation, a young man called me old and lonely and disgruntled and didn't understand why I kept pulling his coat. Now, if you complain that the older generation don't give you advice or pay you any mind or look at you a certain way, you may have to look at yourself. And the advice I was given was from a black man's point of view. And when you grow up in a different world, yeah, some things I say may be harsh or things like that, but that's what it is for me. You know, and to be called a hater and I'm lonely. Now, to be honest with you, women is not a thing for me, man. Never has been. I'm a certified blade runner, homie. I get it done, get it out, and then give it back to you if you really want to know. But besides that, as a man, I love living my life a certain way. Certain people are in my life for a reason, and they've been in my life for years. So loneliness is not one of them things I constantly think about. I'm thinking about the future, being productive. And I have a daughter that just graduated college and she's a physical therapist, and I have one that just started school yesterday. That's what I'm worried about. And if anybody can compliment my drive and my journey, they're more than welcome to come along. But I see these fellas really reaching for a woman and not thinking about anything else, like a one-track mind. And that's just some of my thoughts, because I didn't promise, but as the man I am, I know you watching, man. I'm not gonna go hard on you. I'm gonna give you some words of advice and some words of wisdom. You know, each one teach one. Hopefully you can take it and give it to another brother. Because I tell you one thing, you out here on these jobs and trying to get jobs, they drug testing if your state ain't legal. I mean, marijuana ain't legal or cannabis or whatever. And you know they doing DNA saliva. They doing a saliva test or a hair test of what you talking about. So I see right through the hole in a lot of these guys' story. And so what I'm gonna say ending, because this is just a thought, little advice I'm giving, because I want to go hard in how I want to present myself, because it kind of got up under my skin, and then I had to laugh. Then I realized a lot of these men are young, weak, uninvolved in their community, don't really have nothing going. And it's sad. So, like, as I said before, it's my job. I'm not going to tear you down. I'm going to tell you to tighten up, get it together, clear your mind, eat healthy for real. Get out here, enjoy the world for what it is. Enjoy what the world has to offer you. And whatever comes with that, let it come. But If you really want some advice, go to your elders, the older people you have around to ask for advice, see how things are done. I think a lot of young men are scared to ask for advice, and as a defense mechanism, we instantly become haters or we don't like what you going on. But I'll tell you this though, and I'm gonna end it like this. If you got anything to say or you feel a certain way, let it be known. You know, let it be known. Because one thing about me, you coming for me or you got things to say, I take it. And I think it's funny because my life is decent. You're going to have to go through a couple of more county jails, a few penitentiaries, you know, get stabbed a couple times. You're going to have to do a lot to walk in these shoes, man. And I'm still here. And I raised my kids. And I have grown kids that's older than you. So take it as you are, or you will. The message behind this is stay positive, whatever your dreams are, go for it. Because some of us, when we turn off this phone, hey, that's just exactly what it is. So if I hurt your feelings, or I style you that, I'm just joking. But if I offended anybody in any way, I don't apologize. Hold your nuts and be a man. How about that? Jeffy, I am. We talked about it. Beautiful Tuesday morning. Like, subscribe, even share if you feel like it. Thank you for joining me on this walk. I'm at the 2 mile walk now. We walked a mile together, so enjoy your day. Jeffy, I am. We talked about it.